Reuters West Ham vs Man City. Live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. Manchester City completely outplayed West Ham in their 4-1 pummelling the London Stadium. The Premier League champions needed just 13 minutes to open the scoring when Leroy Sane slotted home Pablo Zabaleta's own goal made it 2 to the Argentine's former club. And although Aaron Cresswell halved the deficit before the break, City romped to victory, with goals from Gabriel Jesus and Fernandinho after the restart. Relive the match below. West Ham 11, Adrian, Rice, Ogbonna, Cresswell, Zabaleta, Kuwait, Noble, Evra, Fernandez, Lanzini, Arnautovic. Manchester City 11, Ederson, Walker, Otamendi, Laporte, Delph, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Gundogan, Sane, Gabriel Jesus, Sterling. Reuters. Gabriel Jesus scores Manchester City's third. Well, that was as routine as it gets from City. A training ground exercise for the most part. Luckily for West Ham, they are two clubs between them in relegation. 88 Jaya Toure goes for goal from a direct free kick, but it clips the top of the wall and away for a corner. What City fans would give to see one more goal from the great man. 80 into the last 10 minutes in East London, and fans are dripping out of the stadium as Sterling goes wide from just inside the area. This result will leave West Ham on 35 points and nervously looking over their shoulder at the drop zone. 75. It's all City now. West Ham can barely get the ball. A clear one effort off the line. Nervy times. West Ham 1-4, Manchester City, Fernandinho 64, City get revenge for that penalty decision. Fernandinho sweeps home after a quick break by the champions. Game dead and buried now. Reuters. West Ham vs Man City. Live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. 60, penalty. Sterling goes down under a Cresswell challenge after cutting back from the byline. It looks nailed on from every angle in the stadium bar the referees. He's not given it, somehow. West Ham 1-3, Manchester City, Jesus 53. I may have spoken too soon about that West Ham revival. Gabriel Jesus rounds off a lovely move by tapping home Raheem Sterling's cutback across the 6-yard box. The Brazilian took a whack off Adrian when slotting home, but he's up and about again. 51, and there's the danger. City are lethal on the break, with West Ham committing a few more bodies forward. Jesus and Sane combine nicely, but the German overruns it slightly and Adrian gathers. 48, Marco Arnautovic is giving Manchester City's defense something to think about. The Austrian bullies Otamendi before Laporte sweeps around to block his effort. There's something here for West Ham if they keep playing like this. 45, and we are back underway at the London Stadium. No changes for either side. Reuters. West Ham vs Man City. Live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. HT whispered quietly, but we've got a real match on our hands here at the London Stadium. City looked to have blown West Ham away in the opening stages, but David Moyes' side have shown real fight to come back at the champions. Oh, and before I forget, after a review by the Premier League Match Center, the second Man City goal is now a Pablo Zabaleta own goal after he gets the last touch. 49. Otamendi trips Lanzini, but referee Niels Warbrick decides it's not worthy of a second yellow card. City fortunate to have 11 on the field. 48, Adrian is doing his best to protect this one-goal deficit as Raheem Sterling makes himself a few yards before seeing a shot saved. 47, heart-in-mouth moment as the ball dribbles out to Kevin De Bruyne, who bends a 20-yard strike just wide of the post. 45, what a difference that goal made. The London Stadium has come to life as David Moyes' side go searching for a second. Reuters. West Ham vs Man City. Live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. West Ham 1-2, Manchester City, CRESSWELL 42, what a strike. A free kick was given instead of a penalty, but West Ham fans won't care now. Aaron Cresswell curls a beautiful free kick from 25 yards beyond Ederson to net his first Premier League goal in 2 years. 41, oh that's tight. Gundogan swipes at Fernandez just inside the penalty area, but referee Niels Warbrick says it's only a free kick. It's within shooting range with Cresswell to deliver. 40, disallowed goal. West Ham think they've pulled one back. Ederson is caught in possession by Arnautovic, who plows through him to steal possession. City goalkeeper got a tad fortunate there. 38, almost 3. Sterling and Sane combine again, but Adrian manages to do just enough to prevent further damage, diving at Leroy's feet. 35, Kuwait is up and about again. Looks like the midfielder is going to carry on. Cresswell whips a rare cross into the middle, but there isn't a single West Ham player challenging. Reuters West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. Reuters West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. 32. Man City have now scored 100 goals in 35 games this season. The quickest an English top-flight side has reached this milestone in a single campaign since Everton in 1931-32.29. This is actually quite alarming. Kuwait is down after a collision with Laporte. The medical staff are on the field and he's up, but I can't see him carrying on. West Ham 0-2, Manchester City, Rice OG 26, it's just a catalogue of errors from West Ham. Comedy of errors even. Adrian races off his line to meet Raheem Sterling and doesn't make it. The England international's effort is headed to De Bruyne by Ogbonna and his dangerous cross is turned into his own net by Declan Rice. Play the Benny Hill theme over this later. 23, you could hear a pin drop inside this stadium today. In fact, testing that expression might slow the visitors down for a while. Someone pop out to WHS myth. Reuters West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. Reuters West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. 20. Leroy Sane has scored 10 goals in a single top-flight season for the first time in his career. 19. Why is Gary Neville commentating on this match for Sky Sports instead of Manchester United vs Arsenal later? He sounds pretty aggravated to me. Very dour. 16. Nearly an instant response from the hosts. Lanzini and Arnautovic combine nicely down the right and Ederson parries the Austrians' effort away to safety. West Ham 0-1, Manchester City, SANE 13, the flat atmosphere inside the London Stadium has been squashed some more. Raheem Sterling plays a cross-field pass to Leroy Sane, who collects it before blasting a heavily deflected effort past the wrong-footed Adrian. Looks like former Manchester United defender Patrice Evra got the unlocked deflection. I'm sure City fans won't enjoy that at all. 12. Chance. Sterling plays it wide to the overlapping Walker, but Gundogan can't steer the low cross on target. Reuters West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. 9. De Bruyne looks a tad irritated by Noble after the West Ham skipper bundles him over. Noble gives him a friendly slap round the chops by way of an apology. I'm not sure it was sincere. 6. Cresswell does well to pressurize Fernandinho into a mistake but Arnautovic straight offside. Looks like the Brazilian is still getting back up to speed after serving his suspension. 3. If you've watched any Manchester City game this season then you'll know exactly how this match has started. The visitors are knocking it around from side to side at leisure. 1. I did want to talk about Mikel Arteta's future at Manchester City and Pablo Zabaleta lining up against his former club, but time has beaten me. Just pretend I said something hilarious and tell your friends. Anyway, we're underway at a surprisingly full London Stadium after a guard of honor from the West Ham players. Reuters West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. West Ham vs Manchester City. 14. 12. Quick reminder of those lineups. West Ham 11. Adrian, Rice, Ogbonna, Cresswell, Zabaleta, Kuwait, Noble, Evra, Fernandes, Lanzini, Arnautovic. Subs: Carroll, Hudgel, Hernandez, João Mario, Masuaku, Cullen, Trott. Manchester City 11. Ederson, Walker, Otamendi, Laporte, Delph, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Gundogan, Sane, Gabriel Jesus, Sterling. Subs: Bravo, Danilo, Bernardo Silva, Mendy, Tor, and Mecca, Foden. Grim record 14-10 for West Ham. Manchester City have played 2 games at the London Stadium. A 5-0 win and a 4-0 win. Thanks to my D and GCSE maths, I make that 9-0 on aggregate. Getty West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. Masterplan 1408, not quite sure if that sounded better in David Moyes' head. Asked how to approach today's game, he said, I think the best way to stop them obviously is get on the front foot against them, but you need quality all over the pitch to do that. If we cannot do that, we will have to find another way. I'm sure the players will be flattered by the boss's motivational speech. Protests. 1405. The familiar sight of a protest at West Ham. Some disgruntled Hammers supporters are outside the stadium protesting the board and how they are managing the club. Reuters West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. Twitter roundup. Bobby, at the London Stadium, ready to cheer on the Hammers to take on champions City. My head says we'll lose 6-0, but my heart says we'll lose 3-0. Should I go for my heart? Gumbo. Important for West Ham not to ship 4 or 5 goals here. Goal difference could be key. Focus on Leicester and Everton games and maybe snatch a point from Manchester United. 2 points from 4 games, 37 will be enough. Kyle, Manchester City have already secured the Premier League title, yet Pep Guardiola still starts one of his strongest starting 11. The man is obsessed with winning. 15 minutes to go, 1400. Hello ladies and gentlemen, sorry I've neglected you for a few minutes. There was a birthday party last night at Express HQ and there's a few mystery illnesses floating around. Can't imagine they are hangover related. Anyway, we've just seen Celtic claim their 7th successive Scottish Premier League title with an emphatic 5-0 victory over Rangers. City were unable to do that against their biggest rivals Manchester United a few weeks ago, but they've since landed the crown and are looking to end the season in style. West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. West Ham vs Manchester City 13:25, and here are your lineups folks. A distinct lack of silver in Pep Guardiola's starting 11, West Ham 11, Adrian, Rice, Ogbonna, Cresswell, Zabaleta, Kuwait, Noble, Evra, Fernandez, Lanzini, Arnautovic. Subs, Carroll, Hudgel, Hernandez, João Mario, Masuaku, Cullen, Trott. Manchester City 11, Ederson, Walker, Otamendi, Laporte, Delph, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Gundogan, Sane, Gabriel Jesus, Sterling. Subs, Bravo, Danilo, Bernardo Silva, Mendy, Torre, and Mecca, Foden. Referee, Niels Warbrick. West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. Have your say 13:13. If you want to vent your frustrations, or discuss any issues in the world of football, within reason, then get in touch. You can either comment at the bottom of the page or contact me via Twitter using the hashtag Afternoon 1310. Welcome to our live coverage of the Premier League. I hope you're all doing well and Saturday night hasn't destroyed your bank balance and morale. That introduction probably says more about me than you. Moving swiftly on, we're at the London Stadium to see whether Pep Guardiola's side can finish the season in style. Manchester City require one more win to equal Chelsea's record of 30 wins in a Premier League campaign. Let's have some team news and lineups, shall we? West Ham vs Man City, live Premier League updates from the London Stadium. West Ham vs Manchester City. Adrian returns and goal for West Ham as Joe Hart cannot face his parent club. Captain Mark Noble hopes to shake off a knock and fellow midfielder Manuel Lanzini is fully fit after a knee problem. Michail Antonio, Winston Reid, Sam Byram and Pedro Obiang are still out, although the latter is close to returning. Manchester City midfielder Fernandinho returns from suspension and fullback Benjamin Mendy could also get more game time after making his comeback from a long-term knee injury as a second-half substitute against Swansea last weekend. Centre-back John Stones continues to battle an adductor injury while top scorer Sergio Aguero has been ruled out for the remainder of the season. Last season, West Ham 0 Man City 4, Man City 3. West Ham won last 5 league matches. West Ham LWDDL, Man City WWL WWTOP scorers, all competitions. Marco Arnautovic, West Ham 10, Sergio Aguero, Man City 30. Referee, Niels Warbrick, Lancashire.